so far it's coming apart pretty easy, except for this one bolt. I can't get in there with an impact, and what I'm having to do now is put a screwdriver here and turn it, and I'm slowly getting it pulled out. Other thing to note, I guess this thing's been apart before because I've got different kinds of lock washers on these 1/2-inch nuts. Yeah, I'm thinking it's been apart, and then I got to figure out how to get this off. I've got the bolt off the top. I'll show you once I get this bolt out, I'll show you what I'm dealing with. Well, when I turn this thing up, all kinds of rust come out of this tube. I mean, a lot of rust. So yeah, here's my, and I mean, the bearing feels really good, but I still want to get that out, and I don't think it's a press fit. Let me think about how I want to get this shaft out of that bearing. I think I'm going to leave well enough alone with this. I mean, I run the bolt down, the nut down, and I waylaid on it. I pumped it full of grease thinking it might pop that bearing out. There's no play at all in it, and it spins really nice. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to put the cap back on top of this and call it good. Okay, I'm doing some evaluating of the parts right now. Yeah, these still got to harden up a little bit more, and I'm going to put a different color coat of paint on them. Somebody mentioned if I was using grade 8 bolts for this, and no, I got grade 5. I think that's going to be fine because all these are guides. The only thing I might have stress on would be these, but they're going to have 2 bolts per, and I would rather a bolt to break than this part to break. Bolts are replaceable, these are not. Next thing I'm going to be challenged with is how to get the green paint off. These 2 little parts down here, I guess I'll do a test on just to see the spray on or the brush on, but the problem is it's so hot outside that if I put something on there, it's either going to evaporate and not do anything, and I really don't want to do it in the shop. Definitely have to get the pressure washer out because of the size. So yeah, I'm thinking about what I'm doing there. I looked in the manual. These are kind of loose. I think MasterCar carries these. I think I've seen them on their website, but the problem is there's no part number or anything listed in the manual. So over here in the manual, yeah, it doesn't give me, it just A is the jam nut, B is the fitting, and then I look down here on the pulley, and basically it's a washer, a bearing, a race, a spacer, a bearing, a washer. So yeah, I don't see why that wouldn't come out, but I'm not going to force the issue. Everything else is standard hardware that I'll replace. So yeah, all this. So it's kind of funny how they painted this. I think they've taken it apart, because when I was taking pieces off, these 1/2-inch nuts had different kind of washers under them. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. Some of these washers are bowed, so yeah, we're gonna replace a lot of the hardware. But again, I got to figure out the little parts. I know I can throw them in a bucket, and that'll work fine. It's the big parts that I'm going to be challenged with now. All right, guys. Yeah, let me I got to do some cleanup and degreasing first, and then we'll go into stripping mode. Well, that's pretty much everything, except for being able to remove that one pulley up there, which we're just going to leave that alone. But yeah, once the sun goes down, I'm going to stretch my hose out and bring it up here. That way I can, in the morning, when it's not 100, I get the pressure washer out and go ahead and pressure wash all this stuff. And yeah, so that'll be the first step, get all the dirt off of it. And I guess I'm a little close to this tree still, so what I may do is move it over here to the side. I do have an outlet here for the pressure washer, and pressure wash it over here on the side. But yeah, I'm going to be in the sun doing that, but hey, it is what it is. And I got one more bit of good news. If you noticed on the mule drive, I was able to remove the pulleys, and I'm doing the same method on this one now. So basically it soaks in PB Blast for a few days, and then basically I just tapped it and it finally came off. So we're going to try the same method on this, and what I want to do is see if I can find a part number to these bearings and maybe even get some new bearings for it. This here still needs to be stripped, and then I need to make my next hardware run list right here. So yeah, I'm pretty much at a stopping point now for the day. But yeah, making progress.